An audio repeater on that, that's its I'm going nowhere noise. If we take it up, then if it's going in rising air, 6 up is 6 knots, so 600 feet a minute up. Altimeter set to 0, QFE, normal radio. These two are basically the same thing, one of them is an electronic version.
Okay.
And if I just pop this down, if you can push those two red white handles fully forwards now, that's closed and locked. We'll just close this DV panel in a moment, not just yet.
Okay.
We'll do that when I've got in, and then we're ready to go. So the flight controls, exactly the same as what you used to, but if you've not flown gliders before, the amount of rudder that you need to use, just to give you an idea, is the rudder is roughly proportionate to the amount of stick in the turn. So if you use full right stick, you want full right rudder.
Okay.
If you use full left stick, full left rudder, and half the movement of the stick, it's about half the movement of the rudder.
Okay.
It's quite sensitive in pitch and roll compared to other powered aeroplanes, but not twitchy, so it's quite a pleasant aircraft to fly. So our mnemonic for the pre-flight checks is probably different to what they use in the States, because pretty much everything is. If you want to follow through on the controls with me, full and free movement controls. Ballast, our weight, you know what your weight is in pounds? Or
175.
175, that's great, that's absolutely spot on. So we've got a maximum of 242, so 175 with a parachute takes us to 190, so that's great.
Is it nice?
Yeah.
Yep. Straps, your straps tight, Les?
Yep.
Instruments, we know that they're reading sensibly. Flaps not fitted to this aircraft. Trim is a little green lever next to the stick.
Okay.
Just moving that, checking forward and backwards, set it about right for the takeoff. And brakes, air brakes, just a control that you're not used to in powered planes. That's it, coming undone. If you have a look out on the wings, you've got those paddles on the top surface of the wings. Use those to control the rate of descent of those coming into land.
Okay.
The radio or the running? Thought you might.
And last but not least, I'm just going to close my canopy down. If you want to just slide your direct visual panel forwards, and that little scoop, you might want to just shut it so that's it.
More air, there's a vent just on your right hand side there.
Okay.
Yep. So, ready for cable for launch, please.
Close.
So, you're welcome to follow through on the controls with me during the launch. We're about to go. Somebody will hold the wings level for us, which is what's happening now. And I'm starting with the ailerons neutral with the stick towards the back end of the box. That's to lift the nose wheel off the ground. And I will need to use the rudders a little bit just to keep the nose of the glider pointing at the back of the tug. We'll get airborne in the mid 40s knots, about 43, 44 knots, something like that. Let's turn that volume down on that whilst we're going. So, right, the rope's now tight and we're off. So a little bit of noise on the ground. It's not completely smooth field. So it's just coming off the ground there, and all I'm doing is following the toe plane. You see there's a flat margin on top of the instrument panel.
Yeah.
And if I keep that parallel to the tug's wings, and where the toe plane is, roughly where that piece of string is on the canopy in front of you, then vertically keep the toe plane there, and then on the top of the instrument panel parallel with his wings, and we will stay in position behind the toe plane. A little bit of bumpiness just where it's gone through some lift coming off the top of the hill. And then we are now flying along, basically formation flying with that toe plane. So all I'm doing is using stick and rudder together to keep our wings parallel to his, keep him in position ahead of us. Careful not to turn inside his turns.
Right.
So that's that. Would you like a go at this?
Sure.
Okay, I'll wait till it's got wings level and I'll position ourselves wash from the tow plane, so about there. So he's sitting his wings somewhere near where the horizon would be, if you can see them. That's it. This is the thing that doing aerotows takes a little bit of practice.
Yeah.
We all get quite good at it quite quickly. But you're doing very well for somebody who's never aerotowed a glider before behind the power plane. But it's just, he's simply doing that. You're keeping the wings parallel to his or hers, and you're keeping the tow plane roughly in the same place vertically. The real thing to do is just react to what you see, don't anticipate the turn, so you don't turn inside the tug. And one thing I can see that you're not doing is you're not using rudder in conjunction with the aileron, so any left movement of the stick, use a little bit of left rudder, and any right movement of the stick, a little bit of right rudder, and it will stop the nose swaying around quite as much. We have longer wings, so we have adverse yaw created by the ailerons. That's nicer. So this is a bit of a challenge, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, this is a bit different.
Climbing behind the tug, we're climbing at about 5 or 6 knots, about 500 or 600 feet a minute, which is almost all the pull from the tow plane. It's taking us towards these cumulus clouds, grey cumulus clouds. We'll probably end up underneath one of those, which may well be the top of a reasonable thermal that you'll regard as annoying turbulence whilst you're flying around in your Cessnas or the A40s or whatever.
Yeah.
But actually, as long as the thermal is going up faster than we're coming down relative to the air around us, then we can use it to climb as well. We're now about 1,500 feet, just coming 1,500 feet above the airfield. Somebody a few days ago had one of those 360-degree GoPro things strapped to the shoulder.
Oh yeah.
So it's got me pulling faces behind him all the time on his film. A Spanish gentleman. That's it. My friend is a Yorkshireman, lived from around here, but he went into the RF and was the engineering side. Used to look after our, I think we've got 11 C-17 Galaxies in the UK.
Oh, nice.
And they've got thousands of them in the States.
Yeah.
Most of which are maintained either Warner Robins or somewhere else a bit further west. And he went there to be the engineering link, so if something went wrong with one of ours, the American gents would know, and ladies and gents would know what it was. You can say, oh, that's easy, it's such and such, and then he arranges for that repair to be done. A lot easier than when you've got the knowledge. So he was like a liaison man. So we're just about up to 2,500 feet, and you've done very, very well indeed. So can you see by your left knee a yellow ball? It's the release knob for the aerotow.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you put your fingers around that or near to it at the moment, just try and get back in position up behind that tow plane. When we get to 2,500, so now, okay, now pull that knob, lift the nose very slightly once you've pulled it. Pull the knob, that's it. And that just gives a little bit of distance in speed between us. And is try and lower the nose a bit now and trim the glider out about 50 knots. Trim, you'll probably just pull that trim lever, green lever back a little bit just to get it to settle about that. Great. So, air and tow done on your first ever glider flight. Not bad. Not bad at all. So, good luck to the left, and then let's just look straight ahead. Just try and turn to the left. You want to use a bit more rudder, that's it. Keep that bit of string straight down the middle. You'll need a little bit of a back pressure on the stick just to stop the nose going down. That's identical. Right, straighten up now. And I've got a bit of a cloud ahead of us, slightly to the right. Quite a big one over to our right, about 2 o'clock. You can see that looking out to our right.
Okay, yeah.
There. So, do you want to make for that cumulus cloud? Straighten up now, out there, and then if we try and just fly at about 55 or 60 knots, a little bit faster than this, just going for the middle part of that cloud with the darkest grey underneath. And we'll see if this thermal is working. I'll give it a bit more volume on the audio vario, or the VSI, whatever you want to call it. A little bit faster if you can, please. So while we're flying through sinking air, we want to be moving relatively quickly through that. And when we get to lift, we need to be prepared that if we get a thermal here, it's actually any good, but we're wanting to turn to the left. So have a look both sides of us just to make sure there's nobody over our shoulders, especially not your dad in that motor glider. Will be around somewhere. A little bit left if we can from where we are. Underneath this cloud. Right, I can feel a little bit of lift coming on. Just keep going a little bit further. That's starting to pick the left wing up, so fight against that. Just push the left wing down with a bit of stick. Okay, if you now turn left, keep that angular bank that we've got now, just keep going around to the left at about this. We're almost in this thermal. We've probably heard a little bit of the higher pitched noise from the vario. It's not quite working. There was a little bit of lift when we first came on there. So I might just move around a little bit. Touch now. Positive with it. Might be round to the right. Just try round to the right. Just a little orbit here. Make it have it. Proper, decent tightish turn. We'll see if we can get into this thermal. Say your handling is nice. For somebody who's never flown a glider before, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah, the rudder is definitely, you need definitely a lot more rudder.
Yeah, heck of a lot more. It's probably slightly over ruddered in the turn at the moment, just reduce it a little bit, that's better.
Okay.
I just need to bring the stick back a little bit to keep the speed under control. You can pull the trimmer back to help out with that. Can I just have a go for a second?
Yeah, go for it. Your controls.
Just to see whether I can get us into this thermal properly.
Yeah.
Because it's about here. Just guiding somebody into exactly where a thermal is when it's a very weak thermal like this is not particularly easy. It's easy if I can feel the glider myself. It's not quite working in that. We're getting lift part of the way around the turn. I'm just going to try and reposition ourselves a little bit underneath this cloud and see if I can get some to 1800 feet. We've gained a little bit, but not a right lot. I'll try and re-centre in this thermal and get right into the middle of it. So straight in when we get a surge of lift. Get it back almost straight away back into the turn again. So the idea is if we can get the nice positive noise out of the variometer of the VSI all the way around the turn, then that will be the ideal. Just feel like there's a little bit of a surge of lift there. So straightening again a little bit. And back into the turn. Okay. So Les, would you like to take over control again?
No, we'll let you keep doing the spinny thing.
All I'm doing is just, now I've centred in it, or nearly centred in it, it's just basically a consistent turn to try to get to remain in that lift so that we can stay where the lift is and go up with it. It's not particularly easy at the moment. The motor glider is just at the minute. Just have a look out on my display to see if I can see whether it's showing up on a FLAM display. It's somewhere nearby, but I don't know just where. Golf Uniform Tango from Juliet Victor Zulu. Whereabouts are you at the moment, please? He might be talking to the local military air traffic because if he's out to the west of us. Anyway, this is just me hanging around in a thermal, so we're not losing any, not lost any height, we're not been gaining very much. Some things out. There he is. He's over to our right now.
Oh, there he is.
If I just increase my speed a little bit so that we can match his speed, he's been flying at about 55 knots, and then we can be on the other side of the thermal with him going around at about the same sort of pace. So there you are, in the air, in the same airspace at around about the same time.
Awesome! It's so quiet compared to normal.
If I turn that down, it's even quieter. So we can talk and speak normally in the glider. There's not normally any barrier to communication. Whereas they're on headsets in there because they've got this Rotax 80 horsepower engine. But as a motor glider, they perform really, really well. That's the. I'm not just saying that because it's my home club now, but I've flown a lot of these Fault motor gliders over the years, and that's the nicest one I've ever flown. It really leaps off the ground. It's got very good performance indeed.
Such a huge wingspan.
So anyway, we'll straighten up a little bit. So, is there anything else you particularly want to do while we're here?
No, just kind of flying around. I don't really know anything in the area to go look at, so.
Right, well, I'll take you to where you can see a good view of that white horse.
Okay.
Do you do scary batics at all?
Oh yeah, I'm fine with aerobatics.
I can do a loop if you want.
All right.
So let's take us to where the white horse is. You can see that, and then whilst we're out to the west to the south of the airfield, we'll do a loop and then go in and land if that's okay with you.
Okay.
You want to fly the aircraft for the moment? Just keep us going straight on.
All right.
Keep the nose down a little bit, so we're flying at about 55 to 60 knots in the sinky air. Has your dad got a GoPro on as well, or is he?
No, he just has his phone.
He just has his phone, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so just on the left, the airfield's on the top of the hill just to our right at about 1 o'clock-ish. And on the left hand side of the airfield you can see a white horse feature which is carved into the side of the hill. That's just coming up into view now. So it's just about 1 o'clock. Just on the left hand side of the airfield. Just a white.
Oh yeah.
That's a white horse. You alright with me having a fly for a bit, and we'll
Yeah.
go down near there, so I've control.
Okay.
Got a good look at the airfield to make sure that there's nobody below us. Is strap still okay?
Yep.
So to do a loop in a glide at one of these, dive to 100 knots. Pull up, keep pulling. You've got no power over the top, so to keep it positive G, you've got to keep pulling over the top and then ease out to the bottom.
Woo!
Zoom our height back up again. And there is a view of the white horse out to our right, back to our airfield. And we're in some lifting air as well.
Nice.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I want to do is I'll trim the glider to fly at about 55 to 60 knots. Do you want to take control again from it, please?
Okay, I got it.
We're going to go to the left and go do a left-hand circuit, fly. So keep going left. So we're going parallel to the airfield. Yeah. Take it down a bit more steeply. That's good. Straighten up about now. We've got the airfield out to our left. Be on a flight about 55 to 60 knots. You can see the tow plane on the ground down out to our left there.
Yep.
So a little bit more nose down about this attitude. That is good. Sutton base, Juliet Victor Zulu. Downwind at the left hand 20. Gear down the left. Flight basically not as fast a circuit as you would in a powered aeroplane, so you probably fly those mostly at about 80 knots or 85 miles an hour ish if you've got a miles per hour.
Oh no, I do everything in knots.
Okay, in knots you're about 80 knots around the circuit, the most single engine piston aircraft I would have thought. We're a little bit slower than that. One thing we also do is we have a little diagonal leg that we do to cut the corner off the circuit. So if you do a 45-degree left turn,
Now?
yeah, please.
Okay.
And straighten up like that. This is not going onto your base leg, this is going diagonal leg. The purpose of that is you can see down to your airfield, you're not turning your back on the airfield.
Right.
If you see what I mean?
Yeah.
It also gives us the opportunity to look back over our left shoulder and make sure there's nobody cutting in behind us on the circuit. So that's all good. Down the approach, we're going to want to fly it accurately at about 57 knots down the approach. So left 45-degree left turn again will get us onto a base leg. Straighten up now. Don't come in too close. So to the right of this road line. A bit more right if you can. Runway appearing down to our left there that we took off on. So when you're going to turn onto that, nice positive turn. All level. Get straight down the middle of it. Lift the nose a bit because we're very fast. And the air brake lever by your left knee. Pull that back. Good pull. Good. That's it.
Okay.
Right, again, it's going down the middle over there. Just a normal round out, but a bit lower to the ground than you're normally used to. Pull the brakes a bit harder if you want. That will use a wheel brake, apply a wheel brake to it. If I can just have control for a second, I'm just going to take us over to the right so that your dad can get down the middle of the runway.
Target.